Hi guys. My camera's a little crooked. Happy second live of 2021. Thank you guys for joining me. I always apologize for my nails. I should have gotten them taken off before. The 28-day lockdown, since it's going longer again. But so please bear with me as I deal with my fingernails. Hope you guys are all well and not too stressed about the next 28 days, which starts tomorrow morning. I apologize, the lighting in here is atrocious. Hi, Scotty. Happy Wednesday. I'm going to do my normal, which is answer any questions that you guys have and go over the real estate updates, what's been happening. Last week I did a lot of Ontario and Canada, and I didn't do really locally, so I'm going to do locally. And I'm just going to go over a bunch of stuff because people are wondering what's going on with the market. How is this 28 days going to affect the market? Is 2021 still supposed to be a seller's market, etc.? Hi, Rob. Hope you and Adria are well. So I'm going to start. I'm not even on the right page here. I'm going to start with a question first. Actually, no, I lied. I'm not going to start with a question. I'm going to start with telling you guys about the mortgage or rent giveaway. It does not mean we're giving somebody rent payment to pay or a mortgage payment to pay. It just means that we are giving away paying somebody. So if somebody's mortgage is $2,500 or $1,300 or $1,800 or their rent, etc., then on February 1st, we're going to knock on somebody's door and pay their mortgage or their rent. So if you want to nominate somebody that you think could use it or is super awesome or amazing or caring or goes, out of their way to be kind to others, please feel free to send their or your video submission to info@crippshomes.com. Again, info@crippshomes.com. And then February 1st, we will knock on somebody's door and give them a check for their mortgage or their rent. So first question I have is from Jen from Barrie. So Jen from Barrie says, I've always wanted to have a rental property, but my husband was always against it. We've recently split up and I still want to go ahead with it. I hear about all the bidding wars. When will there be less bidding wars? I don't want to overpay and have to sell it for less down the road. Thank you, Jen, for asking. Hi, Mary. Hi, Barb. Hope you and Dick are well. So thank you, Jen, for asking. So to be honest, this year is supposed to be a seller's market, even more so than last year. So it's not like, April 1st, suddenly it's going to switch from a seller's market to an even market, or June 1st it's going to switch to a buyer's market or what have you. Just because of our lack of inventory, it's still supposed to be a seller's market all year. However, that being said, it's supposed to go up over 16% this year. So if you wait till next year, and let's just say it's more level or what have you, the houses that you're looking at now, let's just say your price point is 500,000 times that, by 16%. And so then you just have to pay more next year anyway. So even though it sucks being against all those people, you're still going to have somebody paying your mortgage. So your principal's going down, plus then the value of the home's going up on average 16%. So that is my answer to that, but thank you for asking. Next we have some news, not news, but happy news. I like random things before I do the real estate updates. And as a lot of people know, I'm an avid sushi eater. So what comes with sushi is chopsticks. I just had sushi today actually and yesterday. So why I'm mentioning that is there is this fellow out of Vancouver, and somehow he figured out that there's 100,000 chopsticks that go in a landfill every year just in Vancouver alone. And there's over 80 billion with a B chopsticks that go into landfills in China. So he started this company. His name's Felix Bock. And he started it 4 years ago. And so far they've recycled 32 million pairs of chopsticks. And he makes furniture. He makes like shelving. That's not chopsticks, but he makes shelving. He makes stairs. He makes cutting boards. They make like little stands for tablets. They make, what else? Coasters, furniture. He makes tables, dining tables, and so forth, coffee tables, etc. So instead of going into the landfills, I just thought that was kind of cool. Hi, Ashley. Hope all is well. Ashley is one who won our $1,000 giveaway last year. Ashley was nominated by a coworker. Ashley, this year we're giving mortgages away. So we're paying people's mortgage or their rent. So even if their mortgage or their rent is like $2,000 or $2,500, it doesn't matter. So if you want to nominate somebody for our February 1st giveaway, you are welcome to do so. Hope you had a great Christmas with your son. Next question comes from Jamie in Toronto. If you guys want, you can message in the chat questions. Otherwise, I just message or I just answer questions that have come throughout the week. Hi, Justin. So Jamie from Toronto said, I'm originally from Barrie, but moved to Toronto 10 years ago. I lost my job and moved back with my parents in April. I know rents have gone down tons in Toronto. Do you think I should wait till they go down more or lock in and sign a lease and move back? Thank you, Jamie, for asking. So as some people have heard, there's over 400,000 people immigrating to Toronto or Ontario this year, and obviously majority of them go to Toronto. So I mean, yes, the rents are low right now, but they're supposed to go up this year. They're not supposed to like skyrocket back. So let's just say an apartment was renting for $6,000 and now it's renting for $3,800. It's not going to skyrocket back to $6,000, but it might go up to $4,100 or $4,200 this year. When exactly that'll happen, I don't know. But I mean, it depends on your job and what have you. So they are going to start to gain in price point this year. But when exactly that's going to happen, I don't know. But I appreciate you asking, and I wish you well with your move. Hi, Darren. Okay, so obviously we are blessed to live in a first world country and in Canada, of course, but specifically for our medical system. So if anything ever happens, you know, we're obviously not paying out of pocket, especially if we didn't have medical insurance or whatever. But there is a doctor who's an oncologist in Arkansas, and so he specializes in glaucoma. I was going to say glaucoma, radiation and chemotherapy. And when COVID first started, he had over 650,000 of outstanding bills to patients, because basically he didn't say like, okay, you might possibly pass away from cancer, so I'm not going to give you treatment. He'd just say, we'll figure out the payment later. And then often people wouldn't have enough money to pay. So at Christmas this year, he sent out letters to over 200 of his patients and said that their bill was clean. So I obviously like happy news and stories. So he just ate the 650,000 himself. So that was nice of him. I think there was one more thing before I do real estate. So a question from Shannon in Anton Mills. Hi, Rick. How are you? So Shannon from Anton Mills said, my husband and I met you years ago at an open house, and I see you pop up on my Facebook all the time. I saw your 1% commission. Is that total? So if we sell our house for about 700,000, are we paying 7,000 in commission? So it's actually just for the listing side. You still have to pay the cooperating side, which is 2.5. But once you add that 2.5 in there, that is, your 1% plus your 2.5. So it's 3.5. Just because we know everybody, majority of people are going through hard times with COVID. So we just wanted to help out. So you're welcome to contact us if you wanted to figure out if your house is worth 700,000, maybe it's worth 800, 900. We'd be happy to go over that with you. And we were super stoked yesterday to be given 2021 Barrie's #1 real estate agency by Top Choice. So that was when all the public filled out these long, annoying surveys and filled everything out. So that's our second year in a row. So that was awesome that we got that. But thank you for asking. And then one more thing before I do our real estate update is there was a plumber in the UK, and he's 53 years old. And basically he went to do a second opinion for somebody because the elderly person thought it was too much money. And the person previously was quoted 5,500, and which is in euros, so it's about 8,500 Canadian. And meanwhile, the guy said it was maybe $300 worth of work. So he was frustrated that this elderly man was going to be taken advantage of. So he decided from that point on he was just going to work for free. His wife thought he was crazy, but anyways. Since then, which was in 2017, he's helped over 10,000 elderly people, and he has this fund called DEPHER, DEPHER, and it stands for Disabled and Elderly Plumbing and Heating Emergency Response. So he has other plumbers and HVAC people volunteer their time to help out the elderly, which again I thought was cool because I like happy stories and people giving back. So before I do our real estate update, I'm just reminding you guys that on February 1st, we're going to knock on somebody's door and pay their mortgage or their rent payment. So if you want to nominate somebody, hi Will, hi Dakota, you are welcome to do so. Just send a video to info@crippshomes.com of who you would like to win and why. And the 15th of this month, which is in a couple days, we're going to have a surprise thing about that. So Stay tuned for that. And it's up to $2,500. So if their mortgage is $8,000, we're not paying $8,000, but we'll pay up to $2,500 of the winner's mortgage or their rent if they rent, okay? So for real estate, a lot of people are asking what the new, 28 days means in the real estate world. And to be honest, it doesn't mean anything. The only thing that we're not allowed to do right now in real estate because we are deemed essential is open houses. And we are not allowed to do those right now or in the next 28 days, but we already weren't allowed to do them. So we're still allowed to do showings. We have to fill out like detailed health history forms and so forth, and obviously be masked when we're in homes. But besides that, nothing has changed. So it doesn't actually do anything to the real estate market. 2021 is still supposed to be a super strong seller's market. So I know a lot of people have been messaging me about that, and they think like we were going to list our house next week. Does that mean we can't list it? You absolutely can. We have 5 listings between tomorrow and Friday, and those are all still happening. Which if you guys are around, by the way, on the weekend, we're doing lives at the mall on Saturday and Sunday. So stay tuned for those. Also, a lot of people ask, like, what do we think will be the main things in 2021? So they did a survey of over 5,000 people, and 54% of the people said they were looking for single family detached homes. And the next highest one they were looking for was condos, which was 21%. And then the rest got divided between like semi-detached homes, mobile parks, etc., cottages, which I actually thought cottages would be higher, but anyways, it wasn't. You're welcome for the happy news, Mel. I read your thing the other day, so I hope you're doing better today. And so yeah, I was surprised it wasn't cottages because we've noticed a lot of people buying cottages, obviously. So 53% of these people that were surveyed said that they did not want to buy in 647 area code, 416 area code, or 905 area code, which is great because obviously myself and my team are located not in that area code. So people are basically wanting to get out of the city. So again, 53% said they didn't want to buy there. Thanks, Art. That's very sweet of you. So they also said that if it would affect their buying, 24% of people surveyed said that COVID doesn't affect their buying at all and it's not affecting their decision. And 39% said it does affect their decision, but they're just going to make sure that their finances are like definitely in order before they buy, as well as that their job is secure and there's no potential that they might be laid off, etc. Hola, Kennedy, ¿cómo estás? And then out of the people that were surveyed, 6.7% said that they would buy a house without looking at it, which means majority of people still want to go through the property, okay? Hi, Caitlin. Hi, Kennedy. I don't know why it just showed me Kennedy now when I already saw her comment, but hi, guys. And so another thing, a main thing, like it asked people what they were looking for. So 51% of people said they wanted to be close to a green space. And the most important thing besides green space, the first thing that they said was price. If they said they were going to buy a house in 2021, but now they have since changed their mind, the reasons that they said, 33% said that they were worried about affordability, and 26% said it was because of COVID, 13% said because of financial concerns, and 8% said because of employment concerns. And then what people said is most important to them. Remember I said they said the price, affordability is number one. So 84% of people said their budget's most important to them. Again, 51% said being close to green space. And then 30% said it has to have a work from home space or some kind of office or flex space. And 28% said proximity to highway or public transit or public transit. 49% of people said that they will watch a virtual tour before they view a property. I would have thought it was higher and hoped it would be higher, but anyways, only about half of them actually will watch a virtual tour before. And only 52%, which also should be higher, will get a mortgage pre-approval before they go to look at homes, which should be more. Obviously, because of COVID, you shouldn't be going in people's homes if you don't even know if you're approved. Okay, Art, sounds good. Hi, Rodney. I'm trying not to look on the side. I'll look on the side a little bit, but just because my nails kind of suck on the side. Of the people that are planning on getting a mortgage this year, 40% said they are going to use a bank, and 22% said a mortgage broker. The rest was divided to either no mortgage, family, or private funds. a new listing was just listed today in Toronto. So I know that a lot of people are like, oh, the market in Barrie is going so crazy, which it is. However, that you should be lucky that you don't live around Toronto, because there was a house that was listed there today. And it says it's as is. It says it's a tear down special or a handyman special. But basically the whole house needs to be gutted. And in the private remarks, it says some other not so flattering things about the property, and it's listed for $1 million and it's holding offers. So yes, our prices are high and higher than they have been in the past, but be happy that you don't live in Toronto. So who are our main buyers right now? Our main people that are out moving, not necessarily just our team or what have you, is move up buyers. So they're taking advantage of, maybe they put 5% down on their house when they first bought, but now they have 2 or 3 or 400,000 in equity. So now they're going to move up into a more expensive home, or sideways, or whatever, what do I call it? Move over buyers. So they're basically just staying in a similar type mortgage. So they might be paying $1,800 a month or what have you, but maybe they don't like their yard and they're going to go somewhere with a better yard, or they're going to go somewhere with a finished basement and they don't have one. So they're basically going to keep their mortgage around the same, but go to a property that's more suitable for their family. Main trend right now, regardless where it is in Ontario, is people moving to less dense cities. So they're moving out of city centers. They're wanting bigger properties, bigger yards, bigger homes for, whether it's homeschooling, a home gym, or home office is the main trend. And another thing that people are saying is really important to them is the neighborhood vibe. So they want to know, is it close to parks? Is it close to walking trails? How big is the yard, and so forth. But just keep in mind, when people come from Toronto, they come up to a really tiny backyard that we consider like a postage stamp, and they think it's really big. So just because you might have a small yard, don't think that it's the end of the world, because a Toronto buyer might think that it's a huge yard, okay? Hi, Lisa. Hi, Farid. So of that survey that I mentioned to you, 52% of people that were surveyed in that, which was 5,000 people, said that they think real estate is the best place to put their money in 2021. And another thing that's super popular for 2021 is first-time buyers. So they're taking advantage of the low interest rates, which again are supposed to stay low till 2023. So a lot of first-time buyers getting into the market. They don't have to worry about all the Asian investors and so forth that normally bid 100, 200 over. So they don't have to be against all those people. It is still lack of inventory, but not as bad as 2017 with all of those buyers. Okay. Oddly, just a random note that does not have to do with real estate. Another thing besides first-time buyers buying in 2021, they said they're going to get puppies. A lot of them are going to have babies. And what was the other thing? Oh, and they just said about working from home. But that wasn't exciting. But puppies and babies. Another thing we're seeing a lot right now is co-living. So you're living with your grandparents or your parents or what have you, or even friends combining. So we just sold last week a group of 3 friends. So they're going to live, it's 2 kitchens, but 3 bedrooms upstairs, 1 bedroom downstairs. The 2 friends are going to live upstairs, and the 1 friend downstairs is a lot more common now than we've seen in the past. But basically, regardless of what you read or what have you, it's supposed to be seller's market, very strong. An extreme seller's market throughout 2021 is the predictions across the board. And if your budget is not the highest and you're a little discouraged about being a first-time buyer this year, the 4 main cities that they say that is most affordable, but still a good return on your dollar. The first one is Windsor, and their average sales price is $406. The next one is Sudbury, and their average sales price is only $311. Again, depending on your budget. Thunder Bay, the average price is only $248, and Kingston is $464. I'm gonna look on the side now. Who's here? Not who's here, but you know what I'm saying. Hi, Paul. How are you? Hi, Lisa. I hope your baby bump is growing nicely. Oops, I didn't mean to turn that. My darn nails. Hi, Rodney. Hi, Melanie. Hi, Bill. Hi, Dakota. Oh, hi, Madison. I didn't see you. Hi, Douglas. Hi, Allison. Okay. My darn fingers. Nails. Fingernails, not fingers. Okay, so last week I did a lot of stuff about Canada and Ontario, but I didn't do locally for Simcoe County. So I will do that. I don't like to do the same every week, so I like to switch it up. So in Simcoe County, in December, there was 51.5% more homes sold than December of 2019, and it was actually the highest number of sales ever in Simcoe County in a December, which I would agree with. It was very, very busy, as is this January has been crazy busy already, and it's not even 2 weeks in, and it's been swamped. For the whole year in Simcoe County, there was 5,718 homes sold, which is up 23.6% over 2019. So yay for Simcoe County. The average price of homes in Simcoe County in December was crazy high, 744 and change, 744,835 to be exact, which was 34.7% over the previous December. So not only did 51.5% more homes sell, they were 34.7% higher. And to have our average at 744 is crazy. We don't normally ever have it anywhere up near there. We're not Toronto, which is obviously a lot more. So the annual average, not just December, the annual average in all of Simcoe County was 635,827, and that's up 17.9% over 2019's average. And then just for Barrie alone, because obviously we have a lot more townhomes than they do in Springwater, Oro, etc., and condos and so forth. You don't usually see condos in Springwater. So the average price in Barrie for 2020 was 568,386. I just like to say 568, and that was up 15.4% over 2019. And the surrounding area, so staying in Simcoe County, but we're like Oro, Innisfil, Springwater, Essa. The average was 709, and that was up over 21% over 2019. And if we look at all of 2019 versus all of 2020, the average sales price, so I divided it into detached, semi-detached town and condos. So detached in 2019, the average sales price, I'm just going to do the first three numbers because I don't like the other three. So detached in 2019 was 546, and then in 2020 was 652. So 546 to 652, and that's up over 19%. The semi-detached homes in 2019 were 425 in 2019, and now they're 478 in 2020, which is up over 12%. The townhouses in 2019 were 405, and in 2020 they're 467, which is up over 15%, and the condos were 386 in 2019, and now they are 431, or were 431 in 2020, which is up over 11%. Okay? Okay, it's a lot of numbers. So now I'm going to go to a question. I hope you guys are all amazing and well, staying safe. So Dave from Minnesing, I really need to have a table here. Dave from Minnesing says, I'm contemplating selling my home as I've seen the crazy prices and have a very small mortgage, but then where will I move to? That is a very good predicament, Dave, and a lot of people feel like they're in that boat as well. So some people will take, like you said, you have a small mortgage, so they might take that massive gain of equity and put, maybe half towards a new mortgage, and maybe they'll pay off some debt, some visa bills. Normally I'd say go on a vacation, but obviously nobody's really doing that right now. But some of them are even like buying investment properties or buying a cottage or what have you with the extra money, or they're going somewhere else. So let's just say you're in Barrie, for example, and you end up moving 45 minutes north and you have cheaper taxes. Price point might be a bit better, obviously depending, because obviously some areas outside of Barrie are more expensive. So I can't say that, but so sometimes people just go to better taxes, or they maybe go somewhere that, for example, we have a property listed right now that has agricultural zoning, and they let the neighbor, I don't even know what they grow there, corn or something, but their taxes are like $1,400 a year. So you might go from paying $5,500 a year to $1,400 a year. You can take that extra, say, $200,000 or $300,000 of equity, either put it down on your next house or divide it up. The property values are soaring, Melanie. I know, it's amazing. We live in a great area. But thank you for asking. I hope that answers your question, Dave. Okay. So you know how like when you enter your PIN, when you're paying on your Visa or whatever, and I know that sometimes some people, they'll like put in their PIN instead of a tip or whatever, and they mess it up and people find out what their PIN is and they get some crazy high tip. But in Miami, it was written in hand on a Visa slip at a juice bar, and the lady gave $2,021, like 2021, to this juice bar that's been there for over 3 decades. And she just said she wanted to start her 2021 off on a good foot. And she had been going there forever, and she just felt a small business was a good way to do that. So I always like people giving back. So yay to this lady in Florida who gave $2,021 to a local juicery place. So that was cool. Jason from Lefroy asked a question. And again, you guys can ask questions in here if you want, or I will answer them next week if you private message them to me. Jason from Lefroy says, I'm in a constant argument with my girlfriend. She wants to lift the house and add a basement apartment and stay, and I just want to move closer to the kids' school and never deal with renters. Do you have any advice for us? It's super hard, obviously, when you guys are on different wavelengths of what you want to do. She wants renters, you want nothing to do with renters. Some people ask in, COVID and so forth, they're afraid to get renters even more so than normal. Normal, they might be afraid that they might not pay rent, or they might wreck it, or they might say it's 2 people living there and 20 people move in, which is always, it could be a worry. When finding a renter, obviously you want to do detailed, research of them, checking their references, seeing their pay stubs, seeing their credit score, and so forth. And making sure, like, a lot of people will come and they'll apply for a $2,500 place, and you look at their stuff and you're like, you make $1,800. How are you going to pay $2,500 plus pay your car payment plus pay your food and so forth? So it just all has to line up. And then check references. And if you can, their previous landlords, if you can check with a realtor, because let's just say they lived at 123 Main Street and 567 Donald Street, and they say the landlord's names, and then check with a realtor and have them see if that's really who the person was. And if it really is that name, ask them how much they bought the house for, because a lot of times you're calling that person's best friend or their sister and it's not really the owner. And so if they're not really the owner, they're not going to know, did I buy it for $160 or did I buy it for $500 or whatever. So it's a good way to catch people. Back when I bartended, the bouncers would ask, like, instead of just saying, because people have memorized their date of birth, but usually they don't know if they're like a Capricorn or a Leo or whatever. So it's just a side way to catch people. But thank you for asking. I guess I didn't fully answer that. So I said about getting renters, about lifting the house or whatever. I would just, again, have a realtor tell you price point. So let's just say in your neighborhood, things with basement apartments are selling for $700. And let's just say currently you can sell for $600 and it's going to cost you $200 to do the reno. Then that makes no sense because you're into it for $8 and it's only selling for $7, right? So just have that checked out. If you can currently sell it for $5 and basement apartments, like houses with basement apartments, are selling for $9 and you can do the reno for $2, then obviously there's equity in there. So I would just do your homework before. I can't just answer that. Hi, Adam. How are you? Hi, Jay. But thank you for asking that. But that is my answer for that. Similar to earlier, there was a doctor, and you know how I said about that other doctor who got rid of this $650,000 that people owed? There was a doctor in Arkansas, and what he did is, instead of, in the States, again, people have to pay for, surgery or what have you. So he started this thing called N25, and what it means is, let's just say you need heart surgery or you need brain surgery or carpal tunnel or whatever. He does it in exchange for volunteer hours. So he'll say, okay, this surgery costs 500 volunteer hours. And you might say, well, that's not fair, because what happens if that person can't do those volunteer stuff because they're not well? You can give it to other people. So your family members could help out. You could give it to 5 of your family members and they could each do 100 hours. It has to be somewhere approved by this person, because otherwise people could just pretend they did the volunteer hours. But he's just trying to help the community, help people volunteer and see and give back. So I thought that was cool. Adam, you missed all of my stats on real estate, but this will stay on my Facebook wall so you can go back and listen to it. Adam recently sold his legal duplex in Barrie with us. Okay, who is my next question from? Ben and Cindy in Barrie. Oops, so Ben and Cindy in Barrie, we're both small business owners who have not been able to stay open with everything going on with COVID. Someone sent me a link for your pay the mortgage/rent, and we were wondering if this contest applies to people with commercial rent as well, as we both have our leases in place at 2 locations. Thank you, Ben and Cindy, for asking. I'm sorry that you guys haven't been able to stay open. I know a lot of people it's affected more so than others, so that is not obviously ideal and super sucks. Unfortunately, it doesn't count commercial, but to be honest, I would say to have somebody send in an application anyways, because we always make, you know, bend the rules. So I mean, we said it's for people that are having a hard time. So yeah, have somebody send a nomination in about you guys, and we will put it in with the other ones. So thank you for asking. So I changed my mind on the spot there. I said no for commercial, but yes, I changed my mind. So yes, for commercial, you can have somebody nominate you. So thank you for asking. So as you know, there's like millions of nonprofits in the world, but I don't know, and I had never heard at least, of a nonprofit that helped prisoners. I don't know if that's the proper terminology. People in jail become lawyers and paralegals. So there's a company called Justice Defenders, and they have trained people in more than 50 jails. They're predominantly in Kenya and Uganda. And basically, since they started in 2007, they have helped 40,000 prisoners with free legal advice. They have helped 341 prisoners become lawyers. And then those 341 prisoners, now lawyers, have gone on to help prisoners at over 46 other jails. So anyways, I just like anything that's kind of out of the box, or people giving back to the community or doing something that's not your typical. Again, reminder that our February 1st giveaway is paying somebody's mortgage or their rent, and it can be up to $2,500. So send your nominations of whoever you think is deserving or has gone above and beyond or is just a great person or had a hard time to info@crippshomes.com. Again, info@crippshomes.com. I hope you guys all stay safe and have a great night. Again, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, we have 5 or 6 virtual live open houses, so stay tuned for those, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.